The Bellingen Shire is my motherland. It was where my mother was born, and it's where I've been coming my whole life.
Leanne Fryer's ties to Bellingen go back generations. But when she returned to put down roots in the region, she struggled to find a secure place to rent. So she came up with another solution.
From 2008 to 2016, I moved 13 times. And it was as a result of that I decided to buy a small van and put a bed down the middle of it and thought, well, no matter what happens in life, everything that's out of my control, at least I'll have a place to sleep.
The freelance physiotherapist and doula continued that lifestyle for 6 years. Then the Delta outbreak hit the regions.
With the lockdowns, all the public facilities, or a lot of them, were closed. So all those places that I knew I could get a hot shower, where I knew that they were really good public toilets, were shut down. It's really unsettling, and I think that's the reason why I decided to go back into a rental situation. And now we come through to the outdoor bathroom.
But rentals in her hometown were few and far between. The 59-year-old accepted an offer to live in a shed on a private property for $170 a week.
The sort of dwelling that I'm living in now, once upon a time I would have paid $25 a week, but everything's gone up.
Arrangements like this are becoming increasingly common in the Bellingen Shire. The region has become a magnet for wealthy tree changers from the cities and nearby towns like Byron Bay. And now flooding in the northern rivers has added more pressure to a rental market already in crisis. Thousands of displaced residents are desperately looking for homes, but Bellingen has little to offer. In the past year, weekly rents jumped 41%, and on any given day, there are no rentals available.
Our vacancy rate's been the lowest in the 27 years I've been here. It's the lowest it's ever been. It's probably been around that 1 to 2% type thing.
As a result, some long-term locals have been forced to leave town.
In my opinion, the problem we got now is there's a lot more people wanting to move here than we've got houses. So really that results in whoever's got the most money gets the home, which is sad.
It's not just those on low incomes struggling to find homes here in Bellingen. I spoke to a local teacher and single mum who had to move after her rent jumped from $575 to $800 a week.
The rich are getting richer and the poor are getting poorer, and this gap between the two is getting larger.
Nationally, rents have risen 8% in a year, the fastest rate of growth since 2008. Housing expert Hal Pawson says the regions and outer suburbs have been hit the hardest due to what he calls the race for space.
People who work in cities can think about living further away. In doing that, they are also bringing in extra demand to these non-metropolitan markets, and that is pushing up prices, pushing up rents.
A few years ago, being out in public was a terrifying thought for Emma Chevelle-Lynn.
I didn't realise I had agoraphobia. It took me a long time to accept it, but I couldn't leave the house.
Making matters worse, her home of 10 years was a neglected rental, tucked underneath her landlord's holiday house.
It was rat and mouse infested. I steam mopped and I vacuumed. I could never get it clean. It just always felt dirty to me.
With support, Emma's health slowly improved. She found a long-term partner and together they looked for a new place to rent. Her partner had lost his job due to COVID and Emma was studying, so both were on welfare payments, and they set a price limit of $400 a week.
I figured, okay, we'll give ourselves maybe 3 months. That should be plenty.
Emma says she applied for more than 300 properties and was granted only 15 inspections.
When we did go, I was hearing a lot of people offering extra rent. So say a year's rent in advance. Because of COVID, people who would normally go for a higher price bracket are actually going for our price bracket, which is pricing our side of the market.
It wasn't even through a real estate agent.
After around 5 months, she finally found a place with support from Launch Housing, an organisation that helps those on the brink of homelessness to find private rentals.
I've heard of 70 people, 90 people applying for properties, a single property. So it's really, really competitive.
So to me, it felt like a full-time job. But once I could be relaxed and go, okay, we've found a house, now I can look for work and just concentrate on that full-time. And it was within a month, I think, that I was able to find employment.
But Emma is still among more than 1 million renters who struggle to pay the bills.
I got pretty good at getting cheaper things, but it is hard and it's a constant worry with the money.
A huge number of people are paying half their wage towards rent, and that's incredibly difficult, particularly if you're on a low income already.
Advocacy groups say more social housing is needed to ease the strain on the private rental market. In a statement, Housing Minister Michael Sukkar said the government had approved $2.7 billion in loans to community housing providers for 14,000 new and existing social housing homes. But without significant Commonwealth investment, Hal Pawson says the situation will only escalate as international borders reopen.
It's unlikely that we're going to see a relief from that extraordinary period of house price and rent inflation over the last 12 months anytime soon.
Hi, I'm Lee Sales. Thanks for watching this story. If you'd like to watch more of 7:30's stories, they are on the left of your screen. And tap on the button below to subscribe and get the latest from ABC News.